What's up, boxing fans? This is Bo right back at you again. Hey, man, I was on a podcast with my man E Thriller and the rest of the game with B Mac and stuff. But before I hopped on, it was this lady, this queen that came on. I didn't even know who she was, and I didn't realize she actually had a boxing channel. But when she came on, she was dropping fire. I mean, she came in this joint like it was Remy Ma on Lean Back or Remy Ma that was being introduced by Big Pun. Like her boxing knowledge is deep, very articulate. But I'm not gonna go on too long about bragging about this lady. But if you will, please subscribe to her channel, Boxing Talk Fans TV. I think that's the name of the channel. Anyway, here's some of the knowledge she was spitting on everybody.
Okay, General Big Fish, I'm gonna put you on mute, bro. I'm gonna go out to Miss T, and then I'm gonna go to mosquito spray, and then I'm gonna go to bold, and then I'm gonna go to red. Hey, yo, Miss T, you're live on the chat with the Black Picasso. Holler at me. How are you?
I'm fine. How you guys are doing?
Hey, doing well. Go ahead.
I finally caught you guys live because I'm gonna let you know that when your upcoming event, it shows in the morning. I'm East Coast time, and it shows 2:25 East Coast time. Just to let you know.
Okay, yeah. Man, I don't have any control over there, but go ahead and say what you got to say.
Okay, I think he do have a case because the broad, you look at it from a broad sense and then you narrow it down. The broad sense is racial bias. That's what they put out. But as you read the contract, it's a little bit more in depth.
Yes.
Okay, if you start at racial bias and then you draw a line down and you know make columns. So first thing I would want to know, because first Crawford requested a jury, so it's not just up to a judge, and he will get that request that he asked for. Okay. You're gonna ask the jury, gonna look at Bob Arum's mission statement. What do he supposed to do, or what's expected of him as a promoter? Then they're gonna start going down that column to say, did he do that job? And that NBF policy, no black fighters policy, that people who have worked for him have spoken on in the past, that basically saying how he treats black fighters, which is racially biased. And then they're gonna have the people who, they're gonna have the proof, the people speaking out on the video. Then you can draw another column and you could say Bob couldn't get him the fights. Now, what did Terrence Crawford put in the contract or his amendment to the contract to handle or address such a situation where Bob couldn't get him the fight that he wanted? You had to give him $1 million. Or was it specific to just Errol Spence? If you didn't get Earl, you got to give him $1 million. So then that's evidence too. How many times did Bob give him $1 million extra because he didn't get what Terrence wanted? And then there's discovery. And then they're going to talk about all the other fighters who befell this situation, like the Floyd Mayweathers, like the Oscar, or any other black fighters, right? All of that stuff is going to come out. And then they're going to be able to see a pattern with Bob. Now, the one concrete evidence that I can point to right now, just under the racial bias banner, would be Pacquiao. Pacquiao fought under Bob. Bud fought under Bob. Bob knew that Bud wanted Pacquiao, but he never gave it to him.
Yes.
Why? And then you have to ask the question, why didn't you give it to him? So if you didn't give it to him, you're going to have to come up with a good reason. Those 12 juries is not going to care about business and what was good for Bob or technically what was good for Terrence. They're going to look at the facts. You were the promoter. What is your mission statement? Did you act in accordance to your mission statement? Did you do a solid for him? Yes, we would have loved for Bud to promote himself. Yes. But if that was the job of Bob Arum and he did not do his job, then, and you got to ask, why didn't he do his job? He didn't get Pacquiao to fight. Bob has alluded to why, because he knew Terrence would beat his ass. That's not a good enough reason not to honor your fighter's wish. You are not obligated to all the fighters you have in your stable to save them from a fight or, interject yourself. Your job is to promote them and get them the fights that they want. Right. True enough, each fighter can say no. Then you go back to that fight and say, hey, Bud, Pacquiao is a no for him.
Yep.
Don't be lying, because
Right.
all of that will come out in discovery. But if you, Bob Arum, is sitting back making a decision, you was wrong right there. And the question gonna be like, why did you do it?
Mhm.
If it and then I'm gonna look at it like as if I was a jury, Bud is black and they are not. So can we say that it's not a racial bias? And like I said, his people that he worked for have already put that out on Front Street years ago. So I do think that Bud has a case. That extra stuff that you read in the lawsuit, he got slander, he got a whole bunch of things.
Definitely
Bud-
has that. Definitely.
Bud played the wall. While everybody criticized him, like once you sign a contract, you got to ride that out. You could be 3 months into your contract and be like, why the fuck did I do this? It don't matter. You signed the contract. You have to ride it out. So all this hate over the years, like complaining every year about him signing with Bob, I didn't understand it. It's a done deal. Bud kept quiet. He kept his nose down. He probably collected a lot of information along the way.
Definitely.
I think he got a case. Plus, he not asking for $100 million, because once this ball start rolling, I wouldn't be surprised if he'll have hanger-ons. Yeah, he did that to me. Yeah, he did that to me. Yeah, he did that to me. And then they can get a piece of the pie. But the $10 million, a jury can sit there and be like, you're not asking for much. And I can see that.
I thought it was a low number too. Myself, Miss T. I totally agree with you on that. 10 million is not a lot.
There's a reason for that. That makes the case winnable. And they can prove racial bias with Bud. Now, what's the name? These other fighters might not want to come in and testify on Bud's behalf, like a Floyd Mayweather. Floyd has said years ago, Bob still owe him $11 million for the Judah fight. Well, I don't understand. If you did the deed, run me my motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not never understanding. I don't care if it was $10,000. Pay me in nickels. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, your money is your money. I'm with him on that. I totally agree. But let me ask you this, because you just spoke to all these other fighters that may come to the defense of Bud. But did you hear what George Foreman had to say?
Yeah, that Bob is no saint. Bob is no saint, but he don't think he racial. But you don't have to prove that he's a racist. You just have to prove racial bias. You have to ask, why didn't you, when you had total control, get me the Pacquiao fight? And I've been asking you for years.
That's a hell of a question.
They both under you. How hard is it?
That's not gonna fly. Saying, "Oh, I was worried about Manny's safety," or some shit he said. It was some bullshit. I'm totally with you on that. Totally.
That's why I think it's winnable. He don't have to prove he a outright racist. That can be left to the court of public opinion. He just have to prove that Bob engaged in racial bias, and he has, and we know he has, and people have spoken on it. He has even said damaging words. All they got to do is collect all the information, submit it in court. Now, what Bob's attorney is probably going to do is submit motions to suppress some of that shit. Now, then it would be up to the judge to say that. But in order, like somebody mentioned, the lawyer got $25,000 just to start the case, so he ain't gonna do that unless there's something tangible there.
Yeah.
2, you're not even gonna get the case in file. You're not gonna be able to file it and go forth with it if it don't have standing. That's what you have to have before you go to court. You can't just arbitrarily say, I want to go to court. You have to have standing, meaning evidence, to even get that far. And so Bob gonna have his hands full. You can't suppress information that proves your point. But that's probably what they're gonna do. I'm not a lawyer. I've taken law classes just because I have a history degree, but I'm not a lawyer. But this is how I see it.
Now I can tell you up on your shit, Miss T. Hey, you are very knowledgeable. Feel free to call in at any time whenever I go live.
Almost that. Look, I watch y'all every night when I can. I be mad as hell. You don't come on every day.
You say what now?
You don't come on every day?
No, man. My schedule is so crazy right now. Then I had COVID. I'm still I don't come on every day yet. But that's the plan. The plan is to come on every day eventually.
Well, I pray for a speedy recovery to you guys. This is definitely a guy show, and I ain't gonna hang in there. But I love you guys. You guys are a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
And I be wanting to use your little 10-minute video because I had a Spence fan on my shit the other day.
Yeah.
And I say I'm gonna ask permission first.
Oh, absolutely. Drop it on them.
Lord, what
Absolutely.
you say? DJ, roll that
Roll
clip.
the clips. Yeah, roll the clips. Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
I appreciate you letting me come in, and shout outs to all of y'all. I'm almost knowing y'all by name, B-Mac, all of y'all, everybody. Just
Shout out to B-Mac, man. Shout out to
Good.
B-Mac.
keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm about to read this super chat and then I'm going to go to mosquito spray, Miss T.
All right, I'm out though.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
All right,
you
bye-bye.
for tapping in.